Hey y'all, Beardy Bros Golf Show, back at it again. Last show of 2025, last live show. I'm Rod.
I'm Marcus.
And I'm Michael.
I
Head
am
ass. Uh,
I'm thankful for 2025. It's been a hell of a year for myself and my family. We've been a little bit everywhere. I'm happy to announce that we finally found our um, place that we're going to be for the next at least 6 months, probably longer than that. Things have been working out pretty well. I base my life on how well the internet connects, and so far, so good. I think this is probably one of my best connections in a long time. So happy for stability. Happy to be able to provide some consistency. So super thankful for 2025. It's been a kick-ass year with a lot of memories, a lot of changes. I am now currently in Da Nang, Vietnam. And just blessed to still be able to talking to these boys on a regular basis as if it's nothing. So technology connects us all. We're going to talk about the year of golf. What are you guys just kind of quickly thankful for in 2025? Keep it positive. Mike, while Marcus is posting.
Um, I'm just glad to be home. Being away for 2 years at Southern, and not everything working out the way I wanted to, but I'm happy to be home back in Texas. I even though that was a kind of like a big, I wouldn't say loss for me, or a set. I'd more call it a setback, but I think things are trending up as the year is coming to an end. So, you know, I'd say right now how the year is ending is kind of setting up a good 2026 in my opinion.
Sweet.
yeah,
Um,
I'm
Go ahead, Marcus.
thankful to be back on the upswing of things on golf as well myself. I feel like I have turned the corner as far as like, on the technical side of things, as far as what I want to accomplish with my game. So I've been feeling like the scores have been producing, the results are there, and um, just trying to be in a more optimistic mind state again. So, yeah, I feel like 2025 has really been, pretty decent as far as that goes.
Yeah, sweet. All right, let's hit the quick news from the week, and then we'll get into kind of the year in review. Big stories that happen, how we feel about them now, with some time and space to reflect on them. But we finally got a full confirmation from Brooks Koepka and AP, LIV Golf, all these entities finally confirming officially with statements that Brooks Koepka will not be participating in LIV Golf in 2026. I think it's pretty clear he's angling for a return to the PGA Tour. I mean, what else is he going to do? Might be getting in some DP World Tour in between there since he has roots there as well as eligibility to keep being able to play golf and keep himself fresh. Essentially, his last event played on LIV Golf was August, and the trend that the PGA Tour has kept up to this point is that you have to serve out a year suspension if you have played on the LIV Tour. So could we see an earlier return? I sent Marcus a post earlier in the week just saying that the rehab tour has started. I think it was like golf.com doing a little interview with Brooks, and it could be in a retread talking about his work ethic. So, what do we think about the official um, announcement and then possible return of Brooks Koepka to the PGA Tour sooner rather than later?
Yeah, I think me and Mike talked about this as well, and kind of like the last time we played. I think, and I mean, we talked about it as well, right? I think with, the prior record of Brooks, he's a five-time major winner, a multiple PGA Tour winner on the regular season. So, yes, he just gets up for the big events, but is he a storied player on the PGA Tour? Yes. Do I feel like he might get fast tracked? I think so. But I'm not going to backtrack on what I said earlier. I feel like it doesn't matter who you are, everybody should suffer the consequences. I don't feel like if you bend for one person, that means that's opening the door for bidding for other players. Like, for instance, with the Bryson DeChambeau situation, he hasn't officially re-signed with LIV or signed his extension. So who knows what's going to happen with that? And he's also
Quick
brought
pause on
that up.
that. Yeah, I was going to say he's done some parsing language, saying there's still quite a few things that need to be worked out.
Yeah.
So,
And
and
he
then
even
he
alluded to
also
Brooks.
mentions Brooks. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So you're
Yeah.
feeling the same vibes that I'm feeling. Is that the language is strange behind that one.
Yeah. And then for you to just sit here and be like, well, I could just go and do YouTube golf. Okay, bro. Well, go ahead, bro. I guess. I mean, I don't know. Well,
Right.
yeah, bro. I don't know. Mike, what do you think, bro?
I think to have Brooks back on the PGA Tour is great for the PGA Tour. One of the bigger names, or probably I wouldn't say the biggest, but one of the bigger names back on tour, I think can also change the dynamic of not just expect. I mean, I don't expect Brooks Koepka to start, just all of a sudden winning non-majors more often, but it brings back another level of competition back into the field where it's not just like, okay, where is Scottie going to win this year? Or, oh, Scottie's not playing. Who's gonna is it just gonna be some random? So I think it's just gonna offer a different dynamic where it's just not expected for Scottie just to kind of come in and win.
So it's
It
just
also,
F the Euros. Rory and Tommy didn't do shit last
oh,
year.
my bad. No, I didn't mean that. I didn't mean it like that either.
God bless.
No, I mean, okay, I didn't mean it like that either.
I
But
fully agree with you on the competitive side. He just
yeah,
brings a little edge, right?
I just think it'll just offer, and it could offer a different dynamic in the locker room where it's not only just like a physical game, it could also kind of do mentally, throw people off their game. Now, this sounds like I'm on a Brooks Koepka glaze or aura glaze or something like that, but it's not. It's just the type of person that he is, how we've
Yeah,
seen him over the years on tour and in major championships.
Yeah, no,
yeah,
I mean, we
absolutely.
agree with that. We've been Brooks supporters. We liked his journey through the DP World Tour. We talk about this not every week, but when LIV comes up
When
and
it's
when we
come
talk
up.
about the players on stuff like that,
Mhm.
we always are on Brooks's side, despite him
Now,
going over to the 54 hole tour.
now I mean, I don't think his suspension will get fast tracked, even though he is a prominent name. Now, I will say it would have gotten fast tracked if it was like him, Rom, and DeChambeau, like just a three-headed monster coming back on tour. Then they'd be like, okay, hold on, we got to get him back as soon as we can. But I would say
Yeah,
for one person, they're gonna make him serve the year. But if all three of those guys were like, hey, when it come back, then they're gonna be like, okay, forget the suspension, just come.
Better
I'll say
yet,
this. If let me say this, and then you can go ahead, Marcus. I think if there is a fast track, you can please believe that there's been conversations happening in the background with probably DeChambeau about a return as well. If you see a fast track, if not, I think you have to keep it the same, right? And then see how things play out with LIV over the next couple of years. I think Rom's got a couple more years, 2 or 3 years left on his deal. So that'll kind of be how the tea leaves run. Marcus, what were you saying?
I was saying, I mean, if we're keeping it a buck, it also depends on who is the one off. Because if we were having this discussion about John Rahm sitting out a year and then coming back to the tour, you don't think he's not getting fast tracked? John Rahm or even a DeChambeau. I mean, that's quote unquote Captain America. Everybody loves him. So I mean, I think Brooks is a little bit on the older side. He's on like kind of like the
He's 34.
down. Yeah, but I think he's you know what? Let me not take that back. Let me take that back because I don't want to doubt Brooks's competitive nature. He might bounce back. He's looking very meathead in that golf.com
He looks,
brother.
yeah, the sleeves. The sleeves were, and it's
Man.
not just because he puts those medium sleeves. He was looking
No, yeah.
pretty cut.
Yeah, he was. So you know what? Let me not put that past him. But I think the perspective changes if it's a John Rahm one off or if it's a Bryson one off. I think if either of those guys were like, "Hey, this is my last year of this deal, I'm not feeling it, and I'm trying to come back to the PGA," I think they fast track them. I don't think they necessarily fast track Brooks just because it's Brooks. I think they fast track it because it's Rahm, former number one, DeChambeau, won America's Hearts on his little redemption tour. Although I still think he's a jerk off, you know,
Oh yeah,
the people
when
love
that mask
him.
falls, when the
Yeah,
mask
bro.
falls, we see the real guy.
Exactly.
So yeah, that's exciting. I mean, it's funny again, just for competitive sake. I mean, he's only a couple of years removed from his last major.
Yeah.
So we saw Rory go 11 years without a major win. So for Brooks to only be a couple of years past that, clearly still a lot left in the tank. Motivation to prove who he is as a player, right? I think his internal drive appears to be different than most PGA Tour players, right? And
Yeah.
that's probably due to his exposure to other sports outside of golf. That I don't know. His motor seems different to me, right? Former baseball guy. Um, I think he just approaches the game differently than most like lifelong golfers. So I don't know. I'm excited. We'll see how things play out. More to come on that, but glad we finally got a confirmation.
Yeah.
Moving over to the old man tour, the Champions Tour. I mean the rumor mill is heating up on the Tiger Woods, return to golf in general, but how things are more so lining up for him to go to the Champions Tour, right? Kind of the live setup, 3 rounds, can use the cart. It's going to be gentler on his body. They're not playing these rigorous courses. A lot of the courses that they play on the Champions Tour generally pretty flat, right? And in the article that I have connected down below in the description, they talk about the courses that he's won on previously being a part of the rotation for the Champions League Tour. Firestone, there was one where he won the Buick Open. So it lends to familiarity, right? And
Yeah.
things that set up well for Tiger. I'd honestly think that's the shot in the arm that tour needs to stay alive. I mean, we were talking about it last year that they should just go ahead and wrap that shit up. It's just a money loser. We've tuned into it the least we ever have. There's just,
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of the same guys over and over. Ernie Els. We had, a couple of
Stewart,
people just spring
Sink,
up.
Patty
Yeah.
Harrington. I
So
mean,
throwing
shit.
Tiger.
Justin Leonard. I mean, McCarron's already on the
Right,
downtrot. Oh, you know what? Angel Cabrera won double majors. I mean, he won back-to-back
right.
majors. So let's
But
not
then
diminish what he
disappeared.
did. But yeah,
Right.
literally after that, he did nothing.
So I'm excited about it. Mike, what do you think about a Tiger return?
I think it'll be great for golf. Just, I mean, not just for the tour, but in general. Just to kind of see Tiger back out there playing again. I mean, of course, the views are going to go up, especially on the Champions Tour. Um, I don't necessarily think that means higher payouts. But I mean, at least the views will be up. I don't know if he'll come to the Insperity tournament here in Houston. But if
They
he,
said that was one.
oh, that'll be best believe that not only will it be busy at the Houston Open, but it'll be busy at the Insperity. So we'll see. I mean, until that day comes and the tournament is played and we see his name in the field, um, the Houstonians will be flocking to Woodlands Country Club to.
Do you think so? We just talked about that recently. How
They're so
bad?
sometimey.
Uh, exactly.
It's what?
The Houston golf fans are so sometimey.
I mean,
Yeah,
Houston fanship in general. I mean, if you look at the
yeah.
Rockets, the Astros, any of that, the Astros just won in 2022, and they already not filling the seats. The Rockets have not had a bad season in over a decade. They still don't fill the seats, The only
Yeah,
thing that they show up for is the Texans because football is king in Texas.
Texas. Yeah.
Other
Well,
than
no.
that,
Yeah, I
what do you mean
mean,
no?
okay. Outside of the Texans, to be fair, I'm not feeling the Astros right now, just because of some of the trades that have been made and some of the deals, the player move arounds.
Yeah, but
Uh,
even last year when the Texans were like 2-14, they still showed up.
that's fair.
Season tickets weren't getting dropped and nothing like that. People love football. It didn't matter.
Mm,
Everything else, they're
fair.
definitely some Tommy fans on
Yeah,
for
but
sure.
I mean, but also, how often did does Tiger come to Houston? Really, really rare. So
Never. Yeah.
yeah, that's what I'm
Never. Well, I
saying.
mean, we
Never.
already. I mean, it was before your time, and it was before all of our time. But Tiger came to a tournament, and one of the owners of a course was being mad racist. He was like, "I'll never come back to Houston." This was when his dad was still alive. He said that. That's on record. So who knows if he does ever
Yeah.
come back to Houston?
So, but I'm
I
saying that.
there.
Go ahead, Rod.
Go ahead, Mike. I was going to say the
No,
reason that they're anticipating that he could come is he is, I guess, signed a sponsorship deal with Insperity. So he
Mm-hmm.
plays a good host. He plays a good
Yeah.
host. He has his own tournament down in the Bahamas. So that's the reason that could be reversed at this point. If he's healthy enough at the time when that tournament rolls around. So yeah, go ahead, Mike.
oh no, that yeah, just I think the first time seeing Tiger in Houston, I mean, I think a lot of people will show up for that 100%. I think so, but I could be wrong. So, like I said, we'll just see when that happens and go from there.
Okay. Well, at least this year it's not giving me a year, but I'm on their website, and it looks like the tournament is held in May. So it might be a little early for his return. I know at his last press conference coming out of the Bahamas at the Hero, he said that he wasn't physically hitting full shots and doesn't know how his body's going to react. Who knows? I mean, Tiger talks about golf as if he's saying the explosiveness and all this stuff, and I'm like, bro, different mindset. The way he's thinking about golf is completely different than most people. So we'll see. I mean, that's 5 months from now. We'll see how those videos. How they ramp up the social media machine and start throwing out Tiger videos once he's getting close. So we'll see.
Yeah,
We'll
From
see.
three
We'll have
years
some
ago at
indication.
that.
Right. And then this fool ruptures his Achilles doing box jumps or some crazy shit. Um, it was the middle of the night for me. I could not hack it and then still be fresh for us talking today. But TGL went off last night. At least last night for me. Did either of y'all get a chance to catch it 3 p.m. this afternoon?
Uh, well, I'll let Mike do his own rant, but I was just hopping off of work and I did not have the opportunity to make it home. I got off from work, had to run some errands, and I completely forgot, even though I checked the show notes and it said TGL was on today. So I will make sure to DVR and
But
check the
okay,
highlights. Yes.
I I do want to say that that was kind of the problem last year, and I think we're going to run into that is consistency. Even in
Yeah.
the article, is that they're talking about okay, like cool, we kick off on a Sunday randomly at 3 p.m. and then you know, games will happen either Monday or Tuesday, which we kept going back and forth in their inaugural season. And I was like, I don't know if they're doing it today or if they're not doing it today. It hopped around quite a bit. And I think
Yeah.
that's something that hurts them is that they can't find a consistent spot. Tuesday seems reasonable to me. Gives the guys a travel day to get into Florida, get out, and then get ready for a tournament. They did a lot of participation based around their actual playing schedule. So I don't know. That was a big deterrent for me last year, is that it was never on the same day or seemed to move around quite a bit. Go ahead and launch into your rant, Mike. I want to hear this.
Yeah, no, I'm just upset with well, okay, to be fair, I pay for the Disney bundle, which is Disney, Hulu, ESPN Plus, right? So last
Okay.
year it was on ESPN Plus for free. Like I could watch it. I would watch, I watched the inaugural season. It was good. I liked it. Well, I'm like, oh, TGL is live now. Let me go watch it. I go to click live, to watch it, and it's like now sign into your TV provider or get ESPN, pay whatever, blah blah blah. I pay I pay for this bundle. Now that someone else has rights to it, now I can't watch it because I don't have cable. So that's
Oh,
that's one thing that's like making me like that's kind of making me upset with like why am I paying this premium subscription if I can't watch it and I have to pay for cable on top of that? That makes no sense of making it a premium subscription. So it's taking
I didn't know
away
that.
yeah, so it's taking away viewership, in my opinion, from people like, to be fair, like this generation or my generation, we don't do cable. Like, at least I don't think we do cable, you know? We're like, oh, well, I gotta get the
Yeah.
direct TV package. No, it's like, what's on Netflix, what's on Hulu, what's on Disney, what's on this or any other streaming, whatever. And, uh,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah,
just
don't
like
get
for
me
me,
don't
yeah,
get me ranting on the capitalism and TV access, because I think
yeah.
that it is a big issue. It truly is a big issue, and I didn't even realize that because I had, even though I didn't have cable, we had YouTube TV prior to
Mhm.
leaving, right? So still not a physical box, right? You're signing in. So it never even occurred to me, because it did always ask me sign into your provider, and I'm like, okay, it's just YouTube TV, and it was a simple connection to my Google account, and I'm in. So it's crazy. I didn't even realize, like, you would think, look, I'm paying for all these three different services to be bundled together, that you're gonna also lock me out or add another layer. That is kind of the bullshit of all these companies kind of
Mhm.
either combining, and then kind of then upcharging you from there. Because even YouTube TV, when we moved to it, was cheap compared to the cable packages. It was one of the reasons that we departed cable, and then it started creeping up, and before you turn around, it's
Yeah.
at the same price. So
Yeah.
it's crazy.
But I mean,
I feel that.
that's the same for anything. Like nowadays, it's like, oh, Prime TV has or Prime Video has Tuesday footballs, or yeah, Tuesday night or Thursday night football. Peacock like it's only they only stream it exclusively on Peacock. Some of the playoff games or the wild card games. So it's like, why am I paying for this subscription or whatever when I can't even watch it? So I
Right.
mean in my opinion, I was excited to watch TGL. And now I'm like, well, now I just got to watch the highlights if I decide to, or if I remember to, or if you know what I mean?
Well, you
But,
Yeah.
better watch the highlights, bud.
well, I
We're gonna
mean,
be
yeah,
talking about them.
yeah. But, I was genuinely excited to see it live.
And then let
Yeah.
down
And then
quick
just
shortly
immediately,
thereafter.
yeah, yeah. So,
That sucks. Well,
We'll talk about it next week.
we'll talk about it next week. All right. We'll come back to us personally. Let's hit the year in review. Um, we'll bang through it pretty quickly. Zero torque putters, man. They had their moment in the sun. Before you started joining us regularly, Mike, Marcus and I had a discussion, and it's kind of based on Michael Kim's, big guy on Twitter X, just really putting his thoughts out there. And he kind of asserted that really for the average amateur golfer, you know, that's inconsistent as hell, zero torque putters really just didn't necessarily fit in their bag. That it was something that probably it benefits a certain type of player, but not necessarily the amateur. What are your thoughts on one, the explosion of zero torque putters, and also how do they fit into amateur bags, if at all?
I mean, of course, being on the retail side of it, seeing a lot of more tour players have the zero torque and see a couple of guys win majors with it. Spaun won the U.S. Open with a lab putter. Um, you know, Adam Scott messing around with the broomstick on the side of YouTube golf. Like Donkey has a zero torque. All these different, big influencers have zero torque putters. So of course, the natural instinct of people is, well, if they have it, then I have to have it.
Right.
Now, when it comes to zero torque, like I think I was on the show when you guys mentioned it. The margin of error between a tour pro and a average Joe 10 handicap guy is like from here to this. So for a tour pro to use a zero torque putter, it makes sense because 9 times out of 10 they know where it's going. Whereas Jimmy from Herman Park Golf Course, he may get it online if he's lucky, I guess. And I just don't think that certain amateurs need it because, like, let's say
Right.
on a toe flow putter, let's say you miss it on the heel, but there's still a high percentage that some of the technology will help you come help the mistake. Whereas zero torque, it's truly face balanced or stable. So wherever you miss it is where you miss it. So I would say for amateurs, putting with something traditional is not bad. Like you don't have to get a zero torque. You don't because the putter is built to help you in some ways.
Right.
They put a lot of R&D into what their product is, and sometimes on those missed strikes, that toe or heel activates more than normal, and it helps you where you think you pushed or pulled it, and you find it closer to the hole. That's my opinion. That not I just don't think everyone needs a zero torque. I don't have a zero torque, and I'm not a tour pro.
Pretty
I'm
high
not a high
level.
level tour pro,
Yeah.
but you know,
Yeah. You're playing above the weekend games with people and shit.
right? Yeah.
So, Marcus, I guess the question is slightly different for you is do you think now that manufacturers have had their run, everybody's got something out on the market, including Scotty Cameron, do you think the trend continues into 2026 as hot as it was this year? Or do we start seeing that peter off and then people kind of just not necessarily focus on the zero torque, but just kind of gravitate back towards like just mallets, which we know are dominating the game right now.
I think kind of in connection with what Mike was saying, as far as like what the pros are playing, we'll see a lot of. I mean, you got to look at the top three, literally the top three players in the game right now. Scottie, Rory, Tommy all use the Spider Tour, some form of a Spider putter. I think that is going to reign supreme, regardless of
Yeah.
zero torque and the forgiveness of it. And I told you, and I mean, I've said it, and I've tried not to like rant too much about it, but to use a zero torque putter, to use like one of those types of putters, you have to be disciplined enough to have a square to square stroke. If you don't have a square to square stroke, none of that matters. So in the long game, if you have a mallet putter, the moment of inertia has a wider sweet spot so that you can miss it not in the middle of the face. You can miss it on the toe. You can miss it on the heel, on the inside towards the shaft, and you're still going to have a good result. It's still going to start somewhat on the line. It's still going to
Right.
have like decent distance control. The Spider provides that. Callaway AI Smoke provides that. There's so many different OEMs that have putters that will allow you to, improve your putting without dropping 7 bills on a zero torque putter. Don't get me wrong, the Spider ZT fire, the Odyssey, square to square putter with the fangs, the square to square 7, lovely putter. I'd probably paint it, not do the red and black. I don't know. Rod has a Jailbird Mini. I like the blue and white color scheme. Maybe put like maybe if they had like the gold mill or something like that, I would really
Yeah.
be intrigued by it. But yeah, I think it will still have some traction because people are definitely going to still drink the Kool-Aid on LIV Golf in general. But overall, like, I don't think that Scottie is going to continue to produce, minimal torque for theirs, or, I don't think Odyssey is going to drop another version of the square to square. Or
Yeah.
do I think,
Yeah, they're gonna. Yeah, I think they'll stick with what they have out there, right, and just see what
yeah,
the sales look like. There's no need, especially when a lot of these drops came in the latter half of the year. So
yeah,
you're not gonna see anything for a while from any of these OEMs, and I guess we'll just see how sales go. Because at the end of the day, I mean, let's not fool ourselves into believing that it's something other than what will sell. So if they're
yeah,
flying off the shelf, we'll see it continue. I mean, I think the funny thing for OEMs is they get that it is not necessarily the equipment, but the person that is swinging the equipment that makes the ultimate deal, right? So if people don't feel that they're making, especially on the putter front, y'all are both putter crazy people. So if y'all aren't making putts, y'all change putters. And I think a lot of
whoa,
folks are like, shut up. You change putters more than most. Get out of
no,
here.
no,
Yeah. Well, quick. Now we're talking about putters, and Marcus, you recently just purchased a graphite putter shaft. Have you noticed a significant difference from regular steel to now having a graphite shaft in your putter?
yes, I have. I've had two putters in the last 4 years, sir. I'm not a putter psycho like Michael. Don't lump me in with that group,
Whoa,
bro.
whoa!
Don't lump me in with that group, bro.
Okay,
No,
fine.
thank you.
Fine.
I appreciate it. I've had a Scotty Del Mar and a Scotty 5.5. Those are my last two putters purchased. It's been a
Okay.
while since before that.
Sneak
Thank you.
dis retracted. I'll take it back.
Thank you.
All right, let's keep it rolling. You kind of mentioned two guys that had a pretty decent rise and kind of showed their wares. People that we've kind of been seeing on the cusp of success. JJ Spaun and Tommy Fleetwood, like you said, rocking the Lab DF3 with JJ Spaun, and then Tommy Fleetwood with the Spider with the crazy lineup line. So both these guys had successful years. Tommy Fleetwood finally getting a win on the PGA Tour. JJ Spaun breaking through with the major. I mean, again, we talk about how long and fast this year has been at the same time. We were talking about JJ Spaun and Wildeye not clutching up at the end on the final day to get that victory when he was in a very, prime position to win. And
Yeah.
we're like, this guy just does not clutch up at the end. Doesn't, go for scoring opportunities in the final rounds when he has a chance to win. Fast forward a little bit, gets to the players, makes it to that Monday playoff against Rory, misreads the clubs, just takes the same club that Rory took into that island green on 17. Big mistake, puts it in the water, not realizing like Rory played like essentially a half or three-quarter shot with the same club. So, get to the U.S. Open, and JJ Spaun wins it with a massive putt down the stretch with that DF3. And so his ascension plays well in the Ryder Cup as well. Um, Shows that he's one of the, like, literally one of the best iron players in the world. His iron game is so damn impressive to me. And then, also seeing the same thing from Tommy Fleetwood, and then going across the pond and also winning over there as well after his PGA Tour victory. So, what do you think about these two guys later in their careers? Both of them highly talented. What do you think the outlook is for them both going into 2026? I think Fleetwood probably has more momentum to continue going into next year, any disagreement, or do you think there's going to be just like complete fall off from either one of these guys, and this was just flash in the pan?
I think when it comes to Tommy Fleetwood, I think he'll ride the high a little bit more and be a little bit more successful and have a good follow-up year. It took him forever to cross the finish line. So, he wasn't as emotional as we thought he was going to be. I don't know. I thought I was going to see tears, if I'm being honest. I thought I was going to see tears. It was the tour. It was the tour year-end final. It was $10 million right then and there. Then you double up and you go like in the next couple of weeks, really style on folks in the Ryder Cup. Then you go after that and win in India on a course where you don't even really need driver, and you really showed your prowess as far as like these chopped off shots, these hold off finishes and stuff like that. That's right up Tommy's alley. So I think we have more to see from Tommy. JJ Spaun, I'm not saying he's going to ride that same momentum, but I think I see success with him too. He's found a really good smooth sweet spot with his caddy. We had that discussion too. We had discussion about the importance of the caddy and what the caddy can do. So we didn't really believe in his caddy at first, but we saw it worked out. It paid dividends in the end. So that was one of the things that me and Rod agreed on. And I don't know, you got to kind of kick your player into gear a little bit, and it didn't really seem like he was doing it. But they got fired up at the U.S. Open. It was great to see. He clutched up crazy. Then he got into the playoff with Jay Rose. He got into the playoff with Jay Rose in Memphis, in the playoffs, and it looked like he was cashing putts in. He made like a 40-footer. Jay Rose, he hit it to like 8 feet and made the putt on top of him. But, he was there. He put himself in position. So I think next year, 2026 is going to be good regardless for him. But I think Tommy Fleetwood will have a more successful season than JJ Spaun. Let me just say that.
Any dissension there, Mike, or do you have any other thoughts to add to that?
No, I think Marcus said all the right things. Where I think Tommy is going to maybe have a little bit more success, but you never know. That's the beauty of the game. You could have have the ultimate high and the lowest of lows. So of course I want both players to play well. I think we seeing as that Spaun can close out a U.S. Open at arguably one of the toughest U.S. Open spots at Oakmont. I think he's gonna have more confidence in those kind of pressure situations now. Seeing as that he did win a U.S. Open, he did compete in a Ryder Cup, which is, in my opinion, on par pressure wise to succeed in that tournament, because you're not only representing yourself, you're representing your country. But I do feel like Spaun will close out tournaments better next, going in 2026. And I hope so. I really do. Fleetwood is just on this ultimate high right now. So let's just see how long the high goes. And nothing, just a good season for both of them.
I mean, Tommy Fleetwood is so consistent. He doesn't shoot himself out of tournaments.
No.
JJ Spaun isn't always going to have a hot week. Tommy Fleetwood is always top 15, top 20. He's in the money every time. But JJ Spaun has another year to really set himself up for some success. I think that with the U.S. Open win plus the playoff push, I think he's allowed himself enough points to where he's going to be on the President's Cup. And I think he's going to be a really big team player for that team as well.
Absolutely.
So I think he's going to really set himself up for a next couple of 3-4
Yeah.
years of team golf, and maybe he rides himself into enough enough points, and keeps that official golf world ranking points up to where he might even slide in as like that number 3 or number 4 golfer for the Olympics in 2028, especially it
Right.
being
Yeah.
stateside. So
Right.
we got a big 2.5 years, all of 2026, all of 2027, and then I don't know when it cuts off in 2028, but he's got a big 2 years coming up. So that stuff is going to matter. So I don't think he intentionally mashes off the gas. I think it's just a matter of can he steady the ship enough
Yeah.
to
Stay
really,
consistent.
yeah. Tommy will. JJ Spaun, it's up for debate.
Yeah. We don't know. I think confidence goes a long way. I think a
Yeah,
large part of for
Yeah.
him was the confidence factor.
yeah,
Not necessarily believing in himself fully. So now that he has proof of concept, he can move forward knowing that he can win in those big spots, hit clutch shots when it matters, right? So Ryder Cup still played well despite the team loss. He still played pretty damn well. I think they ended up like grading him like a B plus, A minus, which is
yeah,
really
yeah,
good
yeah.
considering how embarrassing the U.S. squad was as a whole. Um, so yeah, shout out to both those guys for having incredible 2025s. In addition to, I didn't even put Rory. I mean, great season from Rory as well. We've talked about that multiple times. That it was sneaky good middle of the season, not so great.
Mhm.
After the Masters win and closing out his lifetime Grand Slam, but Rory also had a really incredible year. Goes without saying, I don't want to beat the dead horse on him because we've done that enough this year. But another guy that had a really good, underrated, not as just because Scottie had a really good season, I think it overshadowed how well Rory McIlroy played as well. So I'm gonna keep it moving. Two. Go ahead.
That I just it's no, I agree, but it's insane we're saying that about a 3-time PGA Tour winner on the season, an
I
elevated
know.
event, the 5th major, and then close out the Grand Slam, and it was just like that was decent, Roy. Cool. Yeah, you was all right,
I
my
mean,
boy.
it's.
GG though.
I mean, we'll get to it, but when Scotty has the year that he has, quiet. I
Yeah,
mean, we'll talk about it. We'll talk about it. LPGA. Wrap these two stories together. I finally got Marcus to agree with me that the LPGA needs a star, needs somebody to consistently win. You know the stat better than I did, but we didn't have. Did we have one repeat winner with Jeeno or no? I can't remember if she got two. She got one. But all these unique winners, right? People that we
yes,
don't know, people just coming out of left and right and center. It was a crazy season for the LPGA. No consistency whatsoever. Gino was in a spot to win multiple times, but wasn't able to pull it off. Even coming down to a 4 putt, um, that missed an opportunity to win a tournament. Nelly just did not ever get it together. But we easily recognize that the LPGA wants Nelly to kind of be the star. They
yeah,
push her forward quite a bit. We saw the late announcement in the year about her engagement. I do have a prediction on how the rest of her career is going to go, and I feel like it's going to mirror her sister, unfortunately, which is to get started early, having a baby, maybe multiples, and we're just not gonna. I think we've seen the peak of Nelly Korda. I'll be honest. That's my kind of
mm,
bold assertion that she may have an opportunity this year. I don't know when her wedding date is set for, but I think after marriage and they complete the deal, that she's going to start having kiddos and um, there's going to be a fall off of Nelly Korda. So that's my bold prediction for 2 years down the line. But I think we're in for an exciting LPGA season. We talked about it a few weeks ago. All the exciting things that the new commissioner is bringing to the game. We're going to see every round live this year. I'm freaking jazzed about the LPGA having a bounce back year. 2024, amazing for them. Flat 2025. 2026 looks to be pointing in the right direction. Mike, any thoughts on the LPGA?
Yeah, no, I'm more excited to honestly, part of my New Year's resolution is to watch more golf, DP, LPGA, PGA, maybe Champions, um, maybe.
Don't get ahead of yourself, bro. Don't get ahead of
Yeah,
yourself.
too ambitious.
No, yeah, but definitely to watch more LPGA, DP, and PGA. Now, Rod, you know how you mentioned that in 2 years you just kind of see like a drop off. See, you're like, it kind of reminds me of like Stacey Lewis's career. Like, really great player, got married, had a baby, tried to come back and play a couple tournaments, and then it was just like, where is Stacey Lewis now?
No.
Yeah.
You know?
I think Stacey Lewis was the number one golfer because of consistency, not because she was winning. She didn't win at the level that Nelly was winning at.
No, you're true. That's true, but
The fall
maybe
off.
that's not the case.
It's just that falling off a shelf, right? Where it's like prominent name, you're out there, we know you, and then you no longer exist in our consciousness, which
like,
is crazy.
Where's Stacey Lewis?
She retired. She retired. She's old. Anyways, so I feel like that sort of more reminds me of like a Sheng Fong, the Chinese golfer who really just lost passion for golf as it was and kind of just rode off into the sunset as it is. Now, here's my question about Nelly though. If Nelly really cooks up and turns it up a gear and really has the hunger again for 2026, you don't think that propels her to hold off on kids and keep trying to ride that momentum?
Well, I mean, yeah.
Even in this 2-year plan?
Yeah, of course. I mean, it's I feel like it's definitely different for women because it's like if you're like, oh, I want to have a baby at the peak of your career, like that just kind of, doesn't coincide with it, with life and your career.
Yeah. And ain't nobody nobody is doing what Lorena Ochoa did. Lorena Ochoa I fully understood why she had a kid at 30. She completed everything she wanted to do in her 20s. She won many a season prolific. Like she won at an incredible clip. She did everything she wanted in the game of golf. Like there was not a chance. Like it was not a debate who the best golfer was when she was playing. So like when she rode off into the sunset and was like, "Yo, like, look, I done made the bread. It's time for me to have a life outside of golf." I get it. Nelly, I don't think we've seen the peak of Nelly. I don't think we've seen the best of Nelly.
You think she can do better than her 2024?
I think she can match that. I think she can consistently win 3 or 4 times a year for the next 3 or 4 years, if not 5 to 6 years. She's easily one of the longest golfers. She's she's steadily in the top 5 as far as length goes. If she can get her putting to be a little bit more consistent, I think she's trying to dial it in and not be as much of a putter psycho as she was last year. But she's got the Scottie fastback, and then she's got an assortment of Spider tour putters. I think if she can, kind of wrangle it in like she did towards the end of the season with her putting, I think she can win 3 to 4 times a year and really kind of take the charge between her versus Jeeno. But Geno's 22 though. Jeeno is scary.
Yeah. You know who, without the wins, Nelly Korda, name that out. came up actually a couple weeks ago for me. Inby Park, who went on an
Right.
incredible run, and then also had a started having a family,
Yeah.
and I think her return to the tour is questionable. That's how she came up. Is like, is she going to return? The LPGA is trying to be a little more flexible in their regulations to allow the ladies to return without a bunch of friction. I think they give them
Yeah.
2 years. Um, but it's been a while. I mean, we haven't seen Envy Park, I think, since 2021.
Yeah.
But she's got one, two, three, four, five, six, seven majors that she went on, and then like 14 other LPGA wins. So the run that she was on and then disappeared,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Never to be seen again. So I don't know. Like it's a difficult thing. It's just, I mean, the ladies are the ones that have the babies. Their bodies are impacted, and especially depending on the type of birth. Is it a C-section? Is it a natural birth? Can definitely impact how quickly they are able to return to the game. So I
Yeah.
don't know,
True.
man. I who knows? Who
Right.
the fuck knows?
They
But
got
we
some
see the
variables that we
model.
don't have to deal with.
Yeah, we see the model with her sister, and I do think that there's some similarity there, um, that we could see her making some changes or choices. So anyway, Ryder Cup. I don't know, man. It feels so far away. The Ryder Cup was just super embarrassing. It's like, the secondhand embarrassment from the Ryder Cup loss, pretty devastating. I mean, it was bad from the beginning, and yeah, they put on a final day push to try to make it competitive, but it just should never be that way. And then we continue to hear stories after the fact about what happened behind the scenes, which is never good, to have a leaky locker room
Yep.
where people are letting rumors out, and then the ground staff at Bethpage Black, essentially calling out the preparation and dedication from the U.S. side, the limited practice rounds that they played going into the Ryder Cup. Um, I
Yeah.
mean, it's kind of, as we talked about it in real time. It seems to me exemplified that the individualism that comes from the American side is going to be really hard to overcome. We see how the Euros kind of just throw the egos aside, love the team game, really embrace that. And here we have guys fighting for money on the U.S. side and not wearing hats and silent protests and all these different things that we've seen in the last few years as it relates to team golf. So they're going back to Euro, in 2 years. What do you think the outlook is? Can the U.S. actually recover? And per usual, who's the right captain for these guys going forward?
Go ahead, Mike. I'm gonna try to not be passionate, but I feel like it's some passion coming. So go ahead, Mike.
Um, I mean, I feel like until the United States is able to put a team together that is solely dedicated to winning a Ryder Cup and not like, oh, I want to get paid, I want to do this. Until we can get that team together, then I think we could see a U.S. dominance, especially with that Whistling Straits team. I mean, bar none, the best U.S. Ryder Cup team. And there was not a political view. There was not a we should do this. Nothing. Everybody had the same the mindset. Everybody was like, we're going to beat the Europeans. Period. And we're going to move on and win the next one. Um, Bethpage just did not set up like Bethpage. It was I mean, it played like Bethpage Red, not Bethpage Black. It was
Okay.
soft. Players were just, it was just too easy for them. In my opinion, a championship course that we've seen tear up, chew up, and spit out PGA professionals day in and day out, where, you know, Kepka had to earn his championship when they played it there. He had to earn it. Um, it- in my opinion, I don't know if there's a U.S. team with this U.S. team. I don't think it was the right team to put up against them at all. I don't. There are some players on there that, yeah, they should be on the Ryder Cup, but there are others where it's like, why did this guy play? I don't think he was doing that well to be a player. There's also the debate of should Keegan have played? I mean,
Right.
in my opinion, it's a lose-lose situation for Keegan Bradley. Keegan Bradley, probably playing some of the best golf he's had. He's been playing since in his late career. And it's to say, like, well, if he was the first playing captain since, was it 30 or 63 or something like that when Palmer was the captain. Um, if Keegan doesn't perform well, then that's the reason why they lose the Ryder Cup. Well, Keegan actually did not participate as a playing captain, and they still lost the Ryder Cup. So it's still his fault. And then
Yeah.
fans could say, "Well, you didn't participate. That's why we lost." So what is it fair to say that it's Keegan Bradley's fault that they lost the Ryder Cup? I don't know. I mean, I would say
Yeah.
no.
I mean,
You know,
Yes,
the
very,
yeah.
captain
very much so.
always.
Okay. Well then,
Yes.
there's the lose-lose situation. So I would say I would have someone who has Ryder Cup experience. I mean, yeah, Nicholas is old, but someone like a Davis Love again or a Jim Furyk,
No,
um, not Furyk
neither. It's
or
got to be somebody that's well liked amongst the crowd still. It's got to be like a Stuart Sink. It's got to be like a Freddie Couples.
I was just about to say like Freddie Couples or one of those guys. You know what I mean?
Because
But
Freddie Couples. If he takes an L, he ain't gonna care no way, and he's still likable. It's gonna change the trajectory of like a Jim Furyk or something like that. It's gonna be like, what did Jim Furyk really do? I mean, he had that 58, but what else did he do?
He
Freddie
had a
Couples,
solid career.
yeah,
I
no,
mean, you
he's
don't
a major
necessarily
winner and
want
stuff like that as well.
the best of the best player, but I like Stuart Sink. I don't like Freddie Couples because he's been vice captain so many times, and he's
And he's
just like
won.
he's way too friendly with the guys. I think
Yeah,
vice captain for life until Freddie Couples says I don't want to do this anymore. I always have him as a vice captain because I think he's
yeah,
good in the locker room, keeping it loose.
yeah.
I don't know. I still go back to a couple years ago when I said I think at this stage of his career, Tiger has shown us he's like that elder statesman. I mean, even though sometimes when he's talking his concepts, his mind for the game is so out there. But when we see him talking to like college kids about the game, okay, he's very down to earth. But then we've
Yeah,
seen other videos where it's like him explaining his mindset is like, okay, bro, you're thinking about the game like an alien, and that's
that
why you're
putter
great,
video,
right?
that
It's
putter
crazy.
video is insane, bro. Oh my god, man.
So
Yeah. Oh, you're
I don't
right
know the
though.
answer.
Tiger Woods 2019 President's Cup. It's the President's Cup, but still President's Cup, Royal Melbourne, playing captain,
yeah,
went 3-1 or
something
3-0
like that.
or
Yeah.
something like
Hmm.
that,
Yeah.
and then they cleaned house for him.
Hmm.
Yeah, I think that could very much well work. I think the issue with the Ryder Cup for the American team right now is it's just I'm just piggybacking off of what Rod said. That's why I felt like I was going to get a little passionate. Unfortunately, like the guys like JT and Spieth, I know they're hungry to get back on a winning team, and they want to get back on the horse and the saddle for that. We have got to get that generation completely out of here, brother. They got to go. Their time has sailed. They're mid-30s. We need the Cam Youngs. We need more of those. We need the Sahid Tagalas. We need the
Never get rid of Patrick Cantlay forever.
he's
Please.
gone.
That's
He's
what I'm saying.
gone, bro.
Please.
He's gone. That generation has got to go. For real. Because we have to change the mentality again. That's the whole reason why I felt like we were good in 2016 when we won. Battle when we had that crazy battle between Patrick Reed and Roy McIlroy on the final day. Like that was a refreshing group. We still had some elder statesmen, but they were hungry. Like I don't feel like I feel like JT was the most hungry he's ever been. And even then I still feel like it was quite mediocre. You know what I'm saying? It's tough to really call, but like you got to think about it like this: the European team, they fly together, they room together, they hang out together. They're legit homies. These guys on the American side, they all got their own NetJets account. They all got their own PJs that they fly into events on. The events are, like
Yeah, you got a couple guys, two,
Right.
three guys that may travel together
I was going to
frequently.
say
exactly.
very, very clicked off.
Yep.
Yeah, but see, that's what I'm saying. The younger generation, they all fly together. Sahid Tagala, Akshay Bhatia, all those guys, low 20s, mid 20s, they fly in the same PJ to these events. They all sign up for the same tour stops that they like and enjoy. They all enjoy the same kind of stops. They like the Japan stop. They like the Zozo and stuff like that. They are all friends. They play college golf together. They all competed in the same junior events and stuff like that. We have got to get back to a community of players, or else this shit's never gonna happen
Yeah.
again. And we're gonna be clean sweep. And the Ryder Cup in 27 is in Ireland. You don't think that Shane Lowry and Roy McIlroy aren't gonna be turned up? What are we
Right.
saying, bro?
Right.
We
Right.
have
And both
got
of
to bring the
them
squad.
are still going to probably be playing really good golf at that time. I
And
mean,
talking grimy at the crib, talking
I
grimy,
know.
bro. It's not even
I
a
agree.
question.
We need the youth movement to happen. We need a whole new set of golfers in there. You have Scottie, who has shown up as a leader. I mean, I'll give Scottie all the credit, who's developed. He is likable. You see other players that respect Scottie
Yeah,
heavily. There's no shade. You see he's got quite a few intimate relationships, especially with the guys that live in Dallas. So I think there's a whole contingent of guys that will follow Scottie. You just need to put the right people around him, right? I think
yeah,
when you get these older guys like a Cantlay, a Justin Thomas, a Jordan Spieth, who is a locker room killer at this point, you get those guys in there, it kind of splits the team. But if you just have Scottie as the head and then just a bunch of guys that are young, brash, and unafraid, we
yeah,
could be unstoppable again.
yeah. Agreed. I
So,
think it changed. I think it changes it.
so this is a hypothetical 2027 Ryder Cup team. Scottie, Scottie, what's his Scheffler? No, idiot. Schauffele,
Shoffley, yeah.
Schauffele. So Scottie, Schauffele, Akshay, uh, Sahith,
Cam Young's got to be on there.
Cam Young, Spaun.
Yeah.
Spawn's he
Yep.
needs
Spaun
a he
played
needs a
well.
yeah. No, he needs to be on there
Uh,
again.
and then you got what? No, 6 other spots. But those are your, let's say, top six. Like Sahith and Akshay get it together, and they get enough points to qualify. To be either or even be a captain's pick for a Ryder Cup team.
Yeah.
It's just kind of like, who are these other 6 that we can get? And
Ben
or
Griffin. Ben
Ben
Griffin, I
Ben
Griffin.
think
Griffin,
he's got to have
uh,
another
a, a,
chance.
a Jake Knapp, maybe, if he can
Jake Knapp,
find some
Yeah.
consistency.
yeah.
Um,
Also,
Max
mm,
Homa, please, Max Homa, please,
for real though, like
please.
he needs a little bit of redemption.
Gosh,
He can't be a President's Cup
you
star.
know,
He,
please, Max Homa.
who was I thinking of? Oh, man, I can't think of his name right now. I'll think of it later. Right, we were talking about him. Andrew Nowak. I don't know why I
Andrew,
can't think
yeah,
of his
that's
name.
Oh
another
yeah,
Andrew
Andrew
yeah.
Novak.
Nowak.
Just a kind of a dog, right? Who just missed it
Yeah,
the last go around.
gritty. Yeah, gritty,
And it's
like
like,
the number 13 pick or something like that.
yeah, and it's like, okay, so at that point, who's the captain? And then here's another question: do you save Scotty to Sunday, or do you let him play in the alternate and 4 ball? Because we've
Nah,
seen
bro,
his.
you run him into the ground.
Yeah, he's got to play all 5 events. What are we talking about? Yeah, he's got to
I
play all of
don't
them.
know. His team events versus his like single event it's night and day, Scotty.
Well, I
You
mean,
know,
yeah, but also it's also due to course setup and timing. Because why would we start with foursomes? We never. Why would we start at foursomes at the crib? That was the. That was this probably. Well, besides course setup, that was probably single handedly the dumbest thing that Keegan Bradley did. You don't give the Europeans a leg up with their favorite event. They've won that session easily, bro. They've won that session every time in the last like 5 Ryder Cups. Both days. It's not even a question. It's not even a question, bro. Like you can't put that out first. You got to put that in the afternoon once we're warmed up. Let them play their own ball with 4 ball, and then you do the same thing. You go 4 ball, then you go foursomes, then you go 4 ball, then you go foursomes. You don't even give them a chance to get any momentum because it's only 4 matches. So you let them go, or yeah, it's 4 matches. You let them go 4-0 again. Like the oh my god, bro. Where did we? Not in France. Where was the other one we were at? Where they literally just beat the dog shit out of us from the jump.
was that
Even
at home?
It was
Victor
France
Hovland.
in 20.
That was 2018 though. France was
France?
2018.
Yeah.
They were in Italy.
No.
They were in Italy in 2023. They were in
Oh
Italy in
yeah, the
2023.
La Cava and beef.
Yeah, Vic Hovland chipped in on the first hole.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah, that was in Italy, 2023.
Yeah.
They 4-0 skunked us just based off Zach Johnson's sorry ass parents alone. We cannot have another debacle like that. That's all I'm saying. Anyways, let me get off the passion train. Go ahead, Rob.
Bro,
I'm sorry. Let's
It's
get
all
back.
good.
that's so
Let's
funny.
get back on track. And you're
Yep.
all good though. We love when Marcus gets fired up. This is kind of. I mean, I just want to know y'all's thoughts, and I have a thought on this next one. Internet golf. I think ultimately for me, and the question is, internet golf in 2026, stock up, flat, or going down? I think the goal the entire time is kind of what Good was able to achieve, which is legitimacy and some kind of bridge to the PGA Tour and full commercial success. I kind of feel like there's a little more runway left for internet golf, but maybe in 2027, as we see them kind of peak and go into other avenues in the golf world, that we're going to not see the same level of growth that we've seen in internet golf. That the last 5 years has been like crazy explosive. I
Yeah.
feel like it's starting to flatten out for those guys, and that they're, I mean, something else is going to replace it, right? It's going to go somewhere, especially as popular as internet golf has made the game of golf. I talk about it all the time. There's the there's the amateur game. There's the game that you play. There's the spectator game, watching the pros, watching other avenues of golf. But as far as YouTube strictly goes, I feel like we're going to start seeing an evolution into something different. I just don't think there's a lot more runway left for internet golf to just explode like it has been. Where do you guys think it's going to go? I'll start with Mike, because you watch it a lot more than Marcus and I. I'm so curious on your thoughts on where you think internet golf is heading.
Um, I think it is gonna rise in 2026 and just and like you said in 27 just kind of hit like a flat spot. Um, there's only so much you can do. There's only so much content you could put out. Whether it's like more of a fun style or more of like competitive or even more of a like on a nerd of technology, spec type, you know. Um, I mean, the only now, everyone was so hyped up on the Internet Invitational that I think that next year there's talks about it even being a larger field and a larger purse because of the
Mm.
amount of hype that it got. Now, there's always going to be something new, good, really. I mean, I'm going to give them their flowers because they did their big one. They first started with the Good Open, which someone we know played in it. and now they have their own PGA Tour event. So I think that's the goal for every brand, is to kind of
Right.
achieve that level of status. Now I do kind of wish that more people watch the competitive golfers, like a Ben Haddon, or a oh, what's that guy's name? Plays Wilson. He's a Wilson staffer. Uh,
Ben
I
real
know you're talking
Crooper.
about
Ben Crooper.
young Dalt.
no, young Dalt, him, Ben Crooper, other guy, real stocky, buff, like just kind of real jerky swing.
Oh God, are you
You
talking about
talk. I
Chris
know you're not
Evans?
talking. Are you
Oh,
talking
what is
about
his
Evan
name?
Thompson?
Yes,
Evan
yes,
Thompson. Evan Thompson.
yes.
That
Yes.
lame ass. He's Mizuno.
We do
He's a
not like
Mizuno,
him.
yeah.
yes. Oh,
He's a
okay, but Mizuno guy. But good game, good game. Play. I mean,
good
qualified for
game. Be getting
USAM.
drugged. Nah, he be getting drugged. I mean,
Okay, but hey, he qualified for USAM. He made it to the second stage of a US Open. You know, he made it to the regional. Those aren't like simple, easy feats. Like you can just go out on a Tuesday and do that. You know what I mean? Like the closest I've gotten to qualifying for a USGA event is the 4-ball M, and I had to grind my tail off for it. So I do wish that more people gravitated to watching more competitive golf, and then
Well, I think
make their way to like PGA. You know what I mean?
that's the evolution. Hopefully, I mean, for the Internet Invitational, would be to flight it out and separate some of the weaker golfers and let them compete against each other. That,
yeah,
to me, that was what was missing, is having these wildly different skill levels playing together. It just created a very uneven experience for me watching the golf. Like, look, if I'm a highly competitive golfer and somebody that I got matched up with or that's on my team is sculling it over the green into the water, frustrating.
yeah,
However, like to see, some of these single digits or scratch guys like Roger Steele playing against the Brad Dalkey, seeing how they compete. Like we know Brad Dalkey's like, I mean, clearly he's played professional golf. To see how they even compete against each other, but it's going to be higher level golf, and you're not going to see really basic mistakes made by some of those guys. Who's the guy wearing the do rag who like has the
Oh,
split grip?
uh, oh my God, what is the Duke? The Duke.
Yeah, so like I had never heard of that dude before then, and it's not a channel that I would watch. Why would I watch?
No.
For me, that's not the kind of golf that I would watch. So I think again, if they're playing against bad, cool. So I would say flight it out and find some way to have better players competing against better players. But that's just me. It ain't my thing. It's just not. I've said that. I've been open and honest. It's just not where my visual time of watching golf is going to go. I
yeah,
I'm an adult. I have a family. YouTube golf is the last thing that I turn to. It really is.
yeah.
So,
I think
Marcus. What do you think?
I think that we see one more rise and then it plateaus off. But I think that in the same aspect, I think there's different ways that it can branch out. Just like what Mike was saying, like you kind of got to allude to these brands, creating more invitationals and money grabs and stuff like that. Like, hey, like everybody fly out to Scottsdale and like, the top 10 or 15 players, will pay for something or other or something like that. I don't know. I feel like everybody's got to start creating more of these invitationals or competitive tournaments and stuff like that. I think another thing about internet golf that would attract me and my crowd, the mid millennial, I would like to see some of these current social influencers, the ones that aren't the best, that haven't been playing golf, for decades upon decades, I want to see them with all the clout and all the bread that they have, go get you a professional lesson. Let's see what you look like in all seriousness, not even like you stink now, like Riggs, for instance. No shade to Riggs. If he thinks he's a 4 handicap with that swing, so be it. But like, I want to see guys like that get professionally taught from like a Sean Foley. You don't know, it doesn't have to be a Mark Blackburn. Mark Blackburn, it has real PGA winners that he is looking after. Sean Foley, his stable isn't as big anymore. He still has his hard hitters, Justin Rose, Lydia Ko, players like that. But like, the players like that, I want to see them progress. So like, you don't always cut a little, 10 to 11 minute condensed version of it. Maybe that's your long form video that you put out every 2 months. Hey, I'm starting a series. This is my Get to Scratch series. I'm taking 4 or so lessons this month. I'm taking 4 or so lessons this month, and we're going to see how my game progresses. And you're going to have these shots of him on the course. You're going to have these shots of him getting the lessons, the drills that he's doing.
Some highly produced, just kind of evolution series, it's still on YouTube, but highly produced is what you're saying.
Yeah, but I mean, just a different kind of tangent of internet golf. You know what I'm saying? Like, even
not necessarily the goofy team games. Let me not judge. Let me take that back. No, not goofy, because it works for a certain demographic. It's not.
Yeah.
It's goofy to me because I'm older, but for kids, I get the entertainment value. But
relatable,
something that's a little more. Yeah.
But yeah, like, I mean, even like good players, like even like a Evan Thompson. Like Evan Thompson, I want to cross the finish line. I want to actually compete at the U.S. Open. I want to make the necessary steps to be able to hold my pro status and actually compete for the Korn Ferry Tour or whatever mini tour it is till I get to the PGA. I want to, like, that's the stuff that would really intrigue me. Like him, like.
Okay, so I think this is a good example, and it's why I kind of don't get the hype. So when like Evan Thompson plays against like a legit, so Gerald Fields, shout out to him. He's like growing crazy stupid on YouTube.
The Charlotte golfer.
Charlotte golfer. They played, and Fields like pretty much like just he played in college.
Drug him.
Embarrassed him. It's like it wasn't even really close. So it's like, dude, there's levels to golf, right? And so I'm like, I don't know. I don't know what happened, why, Fields, he's in real estate and all this stuff, wasn't able to get the competitive side of the game. And a lot of it comes down to support and financially being able to do it. But his game is like a whole nother level above Evan Thompson. So if Thompson can compete that well, I think if Fields blows up, gets the financial backing, I don't know, like the opportunities for him, he's the kind of channel I would watch, right?
Yeah.
He's a family guy. He's doing, these competitive matches against guys. And right now, there aren't a lot of guys that can actually play with him. So I agree with you on the evolution and kind of stuff that is millennial coded is very different than the stuff that appeals to Mike in his 20s. It's just very different.
And to be fair, like Marcus, like how you said, like so Barstool actually did that, or Trent Ryan has his where he's like break 90, and he did a couple videos where he did document his lessons and stuff like that. So it's out there. It's just not really.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not.
No. One of the guys from No Laying Up did it too.
Yeah.
Because like I was telling you, Rob, TPI, Titleist Performance Institute.
Yeah.
They have it's through like the No Laying Up channel or whatever guy was running it, but watching like an actual physicist or whatever Greg Rose is, go through the steps, do the assessment, give you the 3D, like the 3D view of your swing and stuff like that. Is your sequencing right? Stuff like that. Like that is the little things that like really like gets my brain like, yo, like I'm intrigued. I need that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. We're getting a little long, so let's get to the last one on the 2025 list. I said before we went live, like I
Yeah.
feel like at a certain point we're starting to take Scottie Scheffler for granted. He's the most consistent golfer that we have seen since Tiger Woods. And I'm
Yeah.
not saying he is Tiger Woods. He is the most consistent performer. Um, I mean, two majors this year, the PGA Championship and the Open Championship. Um, quietly just performing his duties and going about stacking up a legacy. I would say a bit of a late bloomer, right? So we didn't see kind of this big spark before. I mean, he just kind of exploded onto the scene the last couple of years. But now
Yeah.
that he is here, it's almost like, okay. I mean, would we be surprised if he does it again? If next year Scottie wins two majors again, in just a consistent fashion, doesn't make mistakes, he's not just killing people and blowing them out, but he's gonna shoot below, par. He's gonna be in the 60s damn near every round.
Yeah.
Has
Yeah.
led in scoring average. Do we take Scottie Scheffler for granted, and his just consistent play?
I think the broad population of golfers do, but I felt like we've had the appropriate amount of glaze for Scotty. I felt
Right.
like, you know what I'm saying? I felt like we've kind of like really looked into the details of a Scotty and been like, yo, this guy has shot in the 60s in 20 straight rounds. Shit like that. Like, we know that, but like,
Right.
does like Bobby Joe, does he know that? No, he's like, yeah, Scotty's, he plays pretty good golf. He's always there. Like, if you look at the statistics of everything, like, he doesn't do anything bad. No, he's not the longest, but is he above average? Yes, he's still above average. Is his greens in regulation above average? Yes. Does he know his yardages to a T? Like when he did that YouTube video with TaylorMade where he had his guess your yardage, and even
Yeah.
his driver, he was within a yard. I mean, it's
Crazy.
psycho stuff. It's literally
Yeah.
psycho stuff. So I don't know. I feel like we have the appropriate amount of glaze for Scotty, and I think maybe not two majors a year, but do I think he competes in all four and grabs at least one per year? Yes, I do. Yes, I do. What does he need? He needs the PGA for the Grand Slam now.
No, the U.S. Open.
Yes.
He won the
Wow.
PGA this year.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Oh, my fault. Anyways, yeah, he needs the U.S. Open. Now that might be the toughest one to get because Jesus Louises, I don't know. They're gonna set it up pretty diabolical going forward.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I thought
We're
the Open Championship was a bit surprising this year. That one caught me slightly off guard, right? I don't think
Agreed.
he had shown this like great propensity to play well in link style golf. So that one
Yeah.
snuck up on me. Mike, what do you think? What is your overall outlook on Scotty at this stage of his
Yeah.
career, and what do we see in the next 2 to 3 years?
Yeah, I feel like we haven't even really got into it with Scotty for you or any of really the top guys. What's your opinion on these top, like you're the top guys and your favorites right now? Go to Scotty first and then like go into like kind of like what you think about like the elite golfers in the world right now.
I just think Scotty does everything professionally well, very consistent. Like I genuinely want to I just want to like ask him like, what are you doing different from everyone else? What is it? Is it ball striking? Is it, just knowing where your ball's going 99% of the time? What is separating him from the field day in and day out? I'm assuming Most of all these guys have the same practice regimen, you know. But what is truly separating Scottie Scheffler from the rest of the field? That is like my biggest question, because it's
You got to
mind
look at his
blowing.
swing.
No, it's mind blowing. It's just, I
Yeah.
mean, it's it's not a natural swing either. Like it's, you know what I mean? Like very active feet, but just finds the positioning every time. Just knows it. Just absolutely knows it. So
Yeah.
Scottie, I think, in my opinion, Scottie Scheffler is going to be a dominant player for the next 3 to 4 years. Would I say he will put up Tiger-esque numbers? No, because it's
No.
very difficult to copy paste Tiger Woods' career. But at some point, I think he will. I don't think he will be ever be playing history, or like, I'm talking about Snead and Jack history, but he will be playing like, there will be people who would want to like copy his history or be playing against the modern day history. Does that make sense?
Oh, for sure. I mean,
Yeah.
Okay.
he's 29 until June, so
Yeah.
still very young, despite the hair situation he's got going on right now.
Right. Lord.
29. So
Yeah.
he's at 4 majors, playing the best golf. I mean, the other majors essentially, it's like, I think we can safely say Scotty or the field at this point, right? Is that
Yeah.
fair?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So I mean, by the time I think he hits 34, he's at double digits. That gives him 5 years to get 6 more majors. I think he gets to 10 by the time he's 34.
That's fair.
So,
And that's fair. That's fair.
I just think I don't think there's anybody that has the mentality that he has. I don't know. It just feels very flat. And I look at a couple of moments that have stood out. I mean, going out a couple of years ago at the PGA Championship, getting arrested before his round, and still goes and shoots below 70. I'm just
65.
the mentality is different. I think that's the separator. I mean, physically, yes. I mean, the truth is for him to have those active ass feet and still catch the center of the club face damn near every time. There's a hand-eye coordination that is otherworldly as well.
Yeah.
But I also think there's the mentality going into it, and
Hmm.
that now he has gotten. There's been enough situations where Scotty has kind of just hung around the top of the leaderboard, where and gone on to win, where it's in other players' heads too. That oh shit, Scotty's like 2 back on a
Yeah.
Sunday. He can come get me at any point in time. Or if he goes into Sunday with the lead, I don't think we see him giving up leads. So
Yeah.
I don't know, man. There's just something different about the dude. And I think it's
Oh,
more
yeah.
than, like one secret sauce thing, but
Yeah.
he's special.
No, yeah, that's what I'm saying. I mean, like, like we have the discussion with everybody. It's, how long can you keep the lightning in the bottle before it goes out? And, Tiger put that lightning in the bottle for years and years and years and years, where he was able to have a crazy dominant career. It's just, how long will Scotty's lightning in the bottle last?
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. Stay
aside
away
from,
from injuries.
yeah, and that's another thing. It's like, has he even really been injured except for the accident he had with his hand, where he cut his hand? No.
Mm,
No.
he don't swing crazy enough or hard enough. I mean, but
That's what I'm saying.
he's also 6'5", 6'5", 6'6". He don't
Oh,
really
it's just
have to
natural,
do all of
easy
that.
speed. Yeah, it's just
Yeah.
natural leverage. Like it's, whereas like we're seeing other players like consistently get like discectomies or like something done, some back work, something, some injury, some
Yeah.
whatever, but but at the end of the day, he's human. Things happen. So, but for right now, he just looks unstoppable, and that's the best way I can put it.
Yeah. Well, we shall see. I mean, no level of success from Scotty would surprise me. This is kind of a joke question. Is 2026 the year of Sam Burns? I want to see Sam Burns win so bad.
Yes,
I don't know. I want to see Sam Burns like catch his lightning in the bottle so bad, but
I do too.
kind of
He's
a
got
joke.
good game. He's got a good game. Some people don't like his swing, but it's like it doesn't. I don't care. I like Sam Burns. Now, here's another question: is this year of Max Homa?
No.
Don't say that, Rod.
2 years away. I think he's 2 years away. I think last year was so debilitating to his confidence and to his swing mechanics. Like I know he's going to get. We're going to see moderate. We're going to definitely see better results than last year. That is for sure. And end of 2024. But Max Homa of previous, it's going to take I think at least until 2027 that we see that Max Homa, and then he has a couple of years where he's on a great run. But I don't think he gets it back that quickly. Marcus, what do you think?
This is going to be the year of Cam Young. How about that? You
Oh,
know?
I can get with that.
yeah, I can.
Yeah,
I like that.
yeah. For me, if it's not my dog Rory, then I don't mind seeing Cam or Max or Sahith win. Those would be my three faves
Oh, yeah,
besides Rory. But
yeah.
Sahith really got to get his body in shape. Like
Yeah.
that dude plays. I mean, for the amount of times he plays and him to his body be breaking down already, it's kind of concerning. Because even if you look at a guy like Pat Reed plays all over the world, and that fat tuballard is healthy. Like
Come on.
he ain't hurt at all, bro. You know what I'm saying?
This is true. This is
Aaron
true.
Aaron
I think
Rai,
there's
not a
some.
break on his bone, like not a break on his body. Like you got to think about like guys like that.
I feel like maybe I feel like cutters of the ball. Like Sahith loves a good cut. I
They're
think
ripping
there's some
through it so
mechanics,
aggressively. Yeah, you could be right, bro.
and Reed just has that consistent draw, right?
Yeah.
Doesn't take as much, just kind of shuts down the club face, and I don't know, man. Um, that's our kind of lighthearted. We'll call that our lighthearted 2026 predictions. On a personal note, I know we kind of touched a little bit on Mike's last week, but we'll hit it up because again, I imagine every time we go live, somebody different will see the coverage. So, um, personal and life goals and golf goals, personal and golf goals for 2026 for each of you. I'll let you get started. I know you talked about wanting to participate in quite a few tournaments this year.
Mhm. Absolutely.
Um, so yeah, that's your thing. Kind of detail for the folks again, what you're trying to get into this year.
Yeah, so I think towards the end of the year of 2026, like around the September, August, more than likely I'm gonna do my best to before then fundraise and turn pro and start chasing the dream instead of talking about it. Um, just kind of building a resume or putting myself in positions of playing against some of the elite college players and elite professional players and just kind of see where my game stacks up before, making that big decision. Um, and then, just also just kind of taking care of my body a little bit better. Yeah, you know, in my opinion, I definitely need to lose a couple pounds, not a couple, a lot of pounds, and just kind of look a little bit more athletic as well. But that's kind of my 2026 is just preparing myself mentally, physically for what could be a strenuous stretch of golf, as well as completing my college degree and um, you know making mama proud. That's another thing. So that's kind of
Yeah.
my 2026 goals and start putting my dreams into life and just taking the shot in the dark and hoping I catch my lightning in the bottle.
Yep. This is to kind of back up what you just said, but I posted a little TikTok the other day, and it just, big dreams, big things, right? You don't get to the big things without being able to visualize what those dreams look like. So you have to have a clear vision of it so that you can, have a path and develop some sort of a plan to get there. So I like it. Marcus, for you, my man, what's on the agenda for you in 2026?
Yeah, I mean, like I was saying, my game is trending. I really need to go ahead and close the door. I really need to go ahead and do my big one and go ahead and get my PGA certification so that I can take that next step and not necessarily trapped because I enjoy where I'm at. I'm very appreciative of the level that I've reached. I enjoy what I do at the club I'm currently at, but being actually certified, having my class A, having the game to go with it, it absolutely would open doors to local and regional competitions that I could enter and play in and really test my game on, as well as, really taking that next step as far as teaching more, and, really advancing my, technical knowledge and stuff like that. Me and Rod nerd out on a lot of this stuff a lot, but being able to translate that to other people and make sure they're prepared and make sure they're ready to make that next step for their game as well. I think that's really going to be it. On a personal level as well, I really want to become scratch slash plus as far as with my handicap and stuff like that. So continuing to progress my game and really not get left behind Mike because I know he's finna really take a step, Mr. Plus Four. So yeah, I'm excited. What about you, Rod? What you got going on? I know you're doing a bunch of, life and living, but is
Yeah,
you gonna drag the family out there out on the course again, or this is a
no,
solo
I mean,
journey? What you got?
it feels more solo. I think for me, it's just getting back to playing consistently. The travel has been rewarding. Seeing the world has definitely grown me as a human being. But I've also missed golf, and to a certain degree, I'm trying to find out where golf is in my life. Like to a certain degree, I looked at, one of many of the reasons that we left the U.S. was stress. All those different things, and golf has always been an escape. Like I love talking, golf with you guys, but playing is that competitive part for me, and I haven't been as competitive. And at first I was like, I loved being separated, not love being separated from my group, but there's a lot that comes with playing like group golf, right? Especially with like double digit guys and monitoring and managing personalities and the money. That became a bit grating as well. But playing solo golf, I don't feel like I have the same drive, right? It's just me and versus me, which is cool. But I also like to see how my game stacks up against others. So, playing consistently enough here in Danang, there's some really nice courses. Maybe catching a group locally, finding some kind of league that I can consistently play with.
Yeah,
Play against other guys. I think that's an important thing for me. And now that we are finally know where we're going to be stable. I think that means several things for the channel. Now that I feel like, okay, cool, I'm in a setup that is the same every week versus a different Airbnb, different internet connection. I know what I'm getting week in and week out. I'll have all these ideas and things that I want to do like to enhance like a what's in the bag that we talk about. But then it's just like we get into the meat of the week or we're moving or something. At least the last 5 months. So we're at month 5 of being gone from the U.S. So 2026 is going to look a lot different. I feel like for the channel, me and Marcus, shout out to us for being consistent for an entire 3 years at this point. But I don't think we've really missed a week on this at all.
yeah,
Maybe one or two here and there. So, I mean, that's an accomplishment. But I do want to take this channel up a whole another level. And now that I have the time, I'm not working a full-time job, have freedom of time and, stability mixed in there. I'm very excited about what we could do, with our lives and enhance those, and then also content throughout the week. But yeah,
Yeah.
that's it. And I'd also, I didn't get to say it off the top. I'm thankful for everybody, that has rocked with us for this long. We have our day ones, folks that have been there with us and cheer us on and, watch the shows afterwards. So I'm very appreciative of those folks that continue to lock in with us and, just want to reward people that have been here with us during this journey as we have grown. I hope that the first time you saw us, we're better, organized, more, our thoughts are more put together. We just started this, this live thing, and just said, what can we do with it? So I feel like we've grown, but I always feel like we have to continue to strive for better. So I think you're going to see that, and I appreciate Mike for jumping in and joining us here consistently the last month. It's been cool to have, multiple voices to bounce off of. So I'm incredibly thankful for the year that 2025 has been. Sometimes in life you just have to take lemons and make lemonade out of them, and that's what I feel like, I've done. And you just never know where life is going to take you sometimes. So, um, thank everybody. I thank you guys, on the screen now, and we'll be back at it again at the beginning of the year. I hope everybody has a safe new year. Don't do anything crazy. Get you something to celebrate in your house. Sit your ass down and enjoy it and make it into the new year. So,
Yeah.
Bearder Bros Golf Show. We're gonna be back and consistent. I am Rod.
I'm Marcus.
And not Michael.
Happy New Year, y'all.